Give a crash course on psychology with interesting examples and stories. 500 words are desired. Psychology is the scientific study of human behavior and mental processes. It is a vast field that covers everything from how we perceive the world around us to how we make decisions, develop relationships, and cope with stress. Here is a crash course in some of the most fascinating aspects of psychology. One of the most famous experiments in psychology is the Stanford prison experiment. In this study, researchers randomly assigned college students to play the role of either a prisoner or a guard in a simulated prison environment. The experiment quickly spiraled out of control as the guards began to abuse their power, and the prisoners became increasingly distressed. The study has been criticized for its ethical problems, but it highlights the importance of understanding how social roles and situational factors can influence behavior. Another classic experiment in psychology is the Milgram obedience study. In this study, participants were asked to administer electric shocks to another person in a separate room whenever they answered a question incorrectly. In reality, there was no shock, but the participant didn't know that. Despite the increasing level of voltage and the screams of the person on the other end, many participants continued to administer shocks when told to do so by the researcher. This study demonstrated the power of authority figures to influence behavior and has important implications for understanding why people follow orders even when they go against their morals. One of the most interesting aspects of psychology is how we perceive the world around us. The Gestalt principles of perception illustrate how we organize visual information into meaningful patterns. For example, the principle of closure suggests that we tend to fill in missing gaps in visual information to create a complete picture. This is why we can recognize a circle with a small section missing as a complete circle. Another fascinating area of psychology is how we develop relationships. The attachment theory suggests that the bond between a child and their caregiver lays the foundation for all future relationships. This theory has been applied to many different contexts, including romantic relationships. Research has shown that people who have a secure attachment style tend to have healthier and more satisfying relationships than those with an insecure attachment style. Finally, psychology has a lot to say about how we cope with stress. One of the most effective strategies for managing stress is cognitive reappraisal. This involves reframing a stressful situation in a more positive light. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm going to fail this test," someone might reframe their thoughts to "I'll do my best and learn from my mistakes." This shift in thinking can help reduce the negative emotions associated with stress and improve overall well-being. There are several branches or subdisciplines of psychology that focus on different areas of research and practice. 1. Developmental psychology. This branch of psychology focuses on the study of how people change and develop throughout their lives. Researchers in this field study the physical, cognitive, and social changes that occur from infancy to old age. 2. Social psychology. Social psychology examines how individuals interact with one another, and how these interactions are influenced by social and cultural factors. Research in this field includes topics such as conformity, prejudice, and group dynamics. 3. Cognitive psychology. This branch of psychology is concerned with how people perceive, think, and remember information. Cognitive psychologists study topics such as attention, memory, and problem solving. 4. Clinical psychology. Clinical psychology is concerned with the assessment, diagnosis, and treatment of mental disorders. Clinical psychologists work in a variety of settings, including hospitals, mental health clinics, and private practices. 5. Educational psychology. Educational psychologists study how people learn in educational settings. They examine topics such as motivation, memory, and learning strategies, and develop interventions to improve academic performance. 6. Forensic psychology. Forensic psychologists apply their knowledge of psychology to legal issues, such as criminal investigations and trials. They may work with law enforcement agencies or provide expert testimony in court. 7. Industrial organizational psychology. This field applies psychological principles to the workplace. Industrial organizational psychologists study topics such as employee motivation, job satisfaction, and organizational leadership. These are just a few examples of the many branches of psychology. Each branch has its own unique focus, but all contribute to our understanding of human behavior and mental processes. In conclusion, psychology is a fascinating field that offers insights into every aspect of our lives. From understanding why we behave the way we do to developing strategies for managing stress, psychology has something to offer everyone. By learning more about psychology, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.